I missed the in-service. Whoa. Welcome. My name is Mike Hurdle, and my pronouns are he, him. I'm a member of your UUI Board of Trustees. If you are here for the first time, thank you for joining us. We look forward to getting to know you. We invite everyone present in the sanctuary today to join our in-person coffee hour immediately following the service. And if you're joining us via Zoom, stay connected for an online coffee hour afterwards. Social justice is one of our core values. This means that in our journey towards spiritual wholeness, we accountably dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and our institutions as we work to build a diverse, multicultural, beloved community. We are so glad that you are with us today. We hope you find the service both inspiring and meaningful.
Good morning. A lit chalice is the symbol of our tradition, serving as a beacon of hope. As we light our chalice in the sanctuary, I invite those on Zoom to light a chalice or a candle where you are. Use the chat to enter your location and the letters LC for lighting chalice. Our chalice lighting and opening words today are by Teresa Soto. The words are on screen and in your bulletin. On screen only, I think. This is a group participation reading. Please read your part aloud where it says congregation. Celebrating abundance. All that we are, together and individually, is part of the abundance of the universe. We are made of stars. We are made of earth. All that we have comes from the earth, from the labors of those in our communities. For the cities, farms, and oceans that enliven us, the world and those who live in it. We are surrounded by blessing, by grace, and by possibilities. We are reflected in every other human being. We respect and honor one another's differences. We celebrate our interbeing with abundance and the practice of generosity. Come, let us worship together.
Please rise in body or in spirit as we join together in singing hymn number 349.
Would you please join me in saying our covenant? The words are on the screen and also in your bulletin. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. This is our covenant. And now we're going to say our covenant in Español. El amor es la doctrina de esta iglesia, y servir es nuestra ley, para habitar juntos en paz, para buscar la verdad con el amor, y ayudarnos los unos a los otros. Este es nuestro pacto. Please be seated. Our congregation is a lively community with many, many opportunities to get involved. Here are a few announcements for today, but please check your bulletin for more. The results of our Dining and Doing for Dollars auction are in. Drum roll, please. We raised $6,600 this year. Woo! Thank you, thank you, thank you to all who participated and donated generously. Payments can be made at our social hall table right by the front entrance. We accept cash, credit cards, checks, and Venmo. Check the rolling bulletin board for a list of final bid winners, or check the list at the table, or check your e-blast. Activity donors will receive a list of their bid winners to contact for scheduling their fun events.
Now that we have shared song and announcements, let us shift gears just a bit and share those moments of our lives with one another that help deepen our connection to one another and to this community. As the music plays, I invite those of you in the sanctuary to come forward and light a candle of joy or sorrow at the table that is right here. If you would like, you may also fill out one of the cards. There's some on the table, and there's some on the table right there as well, if you have a joy or a sorrow that you'd like us to share out loud. If you need help writing something down, please ask the person beside you. They will be happy to help you, I am sure. And for those of you on Zoom, please use the chat feature to enter a joy or a sorrow that has touched your heart in the last week. Please share no more than a sentence or two, and you can also symbolically light a candle by typing lights, candle, or just the letters L and C into the chat. Let us share the joys and sorrows of our lives with one another. These are the joys and sorrows that were shared today. Sandra shares the joy that her mom celebrated her 85th birthday on Saturday and appreciated all the sentiments. She is well. Sarah shares the sorrow that her father-in-law passed away this morning. Sarah says that he was my friend, She had to write more. I was good with friend. Sarah shares that he was her friend for 30 years and a fantastic dad. We'll miss him so much. Luca shares the sorrow that their braces are hurting the inside of their cheek. Nancy shares the joy, feeling such personal joy in falling in love with myself again. And Sin shares the joy of game night. Though they may not be shared today, we know there are many more joys and sorrows that remain on our hearts and in our minds. Let us pause now for a moment of silent prayer and meditation as we hold all these joys and sorrows in our hearts. Amen, and blessed be.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Good morning. For everyone who is worrying right now, I just want to name that I was already here when I got the news and that we knew it was coming and that I had all the time in the world to be with him before he passed, and that you have already made me grateful easily half a dozen times this morning to be in this space with you. So thank you. And he would like this story. So today I want to begin with a question. Can anybody tell me what it means to be invasive? Invasive. Ooh, Luca. Yeah, to invade, to not belong there. Yeah, for sure. So when something is invasive, it tends to kind of force its way into a space, and it often pushes what was already there out. It takes resources without asking, and often without giving anything in return. So can anybody name, just popcorn style, any invasive animals or plant species that you can think of? Oh man, this is a UU church for sure. Okay. Garlic mustard, kudzu, poison ivy. What was that one, Luca? I really appreciate you naming anything when your braces are chewing up the inside of your face right now. Have been there. Starlings, that's one that bugs me. Hi there. Honeysuckle is the bane of many of our existences, yes. What was that one? True of heaven. Yep, and they're emerald ash borers and all kinds of other annoying things. Now, some people here may have read a book called Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. And if you don't already do it, I recommend choosing books written by authors from cultures that are not your own and authors who tend to get pushed to the margins in ways that you do not. And if you need suggestions, you know, I've got plenty of them. And many of them are in my office. So you'll always see me recommend books and share them in RE spaces. Robin Wall Kimmerer is indigenous. She's an enrolled member of the Citizen Potawatomi tribe, which now is based out of Oklahoma. But originally, the Potawatomi are from the Wabash River Valley. And that's our watershed. So the rain that is falling out there right now is going to eventually head toward the Wabash River. Robin writes about nature, which is a subject I love. Nowadays, she lives in upstate New York near the Adirondack Mountains, which is where I lived before I came to Indiana. And so her writing often makes me very homesick for the beautiful natural sights that I often saw there. Now, Robin wrote something very interesting about a plant that I bet every single one of you has seen before. She describes it this way: just a low circle of leaves pressed close to the ground with no stem to speak of. It arrived with the first settlers, and it followed them everywhere they went. It trotted along paths through the woods, along wagon roads and railroads, like a faithful dog so as to be near them. Linnaeus called it Plantago major, the common plantain. The Latin epithet plantago refers to the sole of a foot. And if you look at the leaves, you might see that they look a little bit like that. And I think we even have a picture. I think we have a slide. Aha. Look familiar?
Yes.
Yeah, they're all over the grounds outside, as a matter of fact. And at first, she says, indigenous people didn't trust this new plant. I can think of some reasons why they wouldn't. But over time, they found out that it was actually very useful. Here's what Robin tells us about plantain. In spring, it makes a good pot of greens before summer heat turns the leaves tough. The people became glad for its constant presence when they learned that its leaves, when they are rolled or chewed into a poultice, make a fine first aid for cuts, burns, and especially insect bites. Anybody ever stuck plantain leaf on an insect bite in here? Yep, me too. Every part of this plant is useful. Those tiny seeds are good medicine for digestion. The leaves can halt bleeding right away and heal wounds without infection. Our immigrant plant teachers offer a lot of different models for how not to make themselves welcome on a new continent. Garlic mustard, as you pointed out, poisons the soil so that native species will die. Tamarisk uses up all the water. Foreign invaders like loosestrife, kudzu, and cheatgrass have the colonizing habit of taking over others' homes and growing without regard to limits. But plantain is not like that. Its strategy was to be useful, to fit into small places, to share space with others around our dooryards, and to heal wounds. Plantain is so well integrated that we think of it as native. It has earned the name bestowed by botanists on plants that have become our own. Plantain is not indigenous, but naturalized. This is the same term we use for foreign-born citizens when they become members of our country and agree to uphold its covenants. Robin says that maybe this is the job of anyone whose ancestors came to North America and colonized it, who took it for themselves instead of asking to join the communities that were already there, and to respect and learn their ways. And maybe, like plantain, we can figure out how we can be useful. And we can love this place, its native species and its beauty, so much that we work to heal it and nourish it and make sure it's just as wonderful for the people who come after us as it is right now. Meanwhile, if you have a bug bite or a scratch and you didn't already know that putting mashed up plantain leaves on it can help, now you do. And today is an all-ages service, so the children will stay in service with us today, with our family and friends. Thank you.
For a long time, I thought peace merely meant the absence of war. I was wrong. This understanding of peace is what is called a negative peace. But there's also something called positive peace. Rather than simply the lack of war, positive peace looks for the abundance of life. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam all distinguish true peace from mere truce. In Hebrew, positive peace, true peace, is called shalom. Christians call it the kingdom of God created here on earth. Unitarian Universalists call it world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. And the word Islam itself means peace, but not just peace as the lack of war, but it means to find security, safety, an even deeper sense of well-being. Positive peace understands that people must be fed, safe, and taken care of in order for life to thrive, and that the prerequisite for sustainable peace is justice for all. Jane Addams said that this vision of peace requires the rather absurd phrase of cosmic patriotism, and that whatever it may be called, it may yet be strong enough to move masses of humanity out of their narrow national considerations. 75 years ago, the world agreed on a vision of positive peace, a common standard for human dignity, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. This important document, which influenced and was influenced by our own Unitarian Universalist principles, includes proclamations such as that everyone has the right to life, liberty, and security of person, that no one should be subjected to torture or to cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment, that everyone has the right to freedom of movement and residence within the borders of each state, and the right to leave any country, including their own, and that everyone has the right to a standard of living adequate for the health and well-being of themselves and their families, including food, clothing, housing, medical care, and necessary social services. And there is so much more in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which has been ratified in some proportion by all member states of the United Nations. Importantly, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights is also connected to the Geneva Conventions. Both of these documents were first written nearly 150 years ago, but were revisited and ratified by countries around the world in the aftermath of World War II. The Geneva Conventions form the core of international humanitarian law, which regulates the conduct of armed conflict and seeks to limit its impact. These conventions protect people who are not taking part in hostilities and those who are no longer taking part in them. These two important proclamations give us an antidote, an alternative, if you will, to both siderism that we may be tempted to fall into when the complexities of a conflict make it nearly impossible to sort out which side is right or which side is wrong. We can be on the side of families forced from their homes due to conflict. We can be on the side of the innocent, the non-combatants, on the side of children. We can be on the side of peace, not just peace as an absence of war, but peace as in the conditions necessary for thriving. We can be on the side of the Geneva Conventions and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and demand that they be followed. And we can work for true positive peace in our own lives and in our communities. I don't usually quote the Pope, but Pope John Paul VI said, "If you want peace, work for justice." It is in this spirit today that we are celebrating a cornbread and cider communion. Okay, really, it's cornbread and apple juice today. But it's this spirit that we will be celebrating. This communion is a tradition at this time of year in some of our congregations. Let us celebrate it today with gratitude for our freedom and our abundance. Let us celebrate this ritual today, mindful of all people who are unable to go to their homes, those for whom we pray for safe passage and a welcoming reception when they arrive at their destination, if they are refugees. Let us be mindful of all those who are not being treated as the world has agreed that human beings deserve to be treated. In just a moment, I'm going to invite you to come forward to pick up a cornbread muffin. We have gluten-free muffins in the muffin wrappers. Those are the round ones. And we have vegan cornbread that is sliced. So we don't have gluten-free and vegan. You can choose gluten-free or vegan. And please get a cup of apple juice. I'm going to ask you, when you come forward, to take these back to your seats. Don't drink or eat it yet. Delayed gratification. We're going to do it together. And for those of you who are online, I am so sorry I do not have a virtual cornbread muffin or a glass of apple juice to give you. So what I'm going to invite you to do is to please go get a morsel of food and something to drink, and we are going to use the magic present in this community to have that food and drink represent the cornbread and cider so that you can participate with us. All right, please come forward and grab a piece of cornbread and some apple juice. Thank you to all my helpers for making sure that we have enough. Food is often a symbol of home. But what if you suddenly found yourself in a place where everything about the food was different? Imagine what it might be like to flee your homeland and the foods to which you are accustomed and end up somewhere where you not only don't speak the language, but where even the basic fruits, vegetables, and grains are different. Just as teff is indigenous to the African continent and millet is indigenous to the Asian continent, corn is indigenous to the North American continent. And so we share our cornbread this morning. Let us hold in our hearts all those here and abroad who have been forced to leave their homes. Let us hold in our hearts all those here and abroad for whom home may not exist anymore. Let us hold in our hearts all those here and abroad for whom home is no longer a place of safety. And let us hold in our hearts all those here and abroad who no longer have a home they can return to. Let us think on that as we eat our cornbread. Apples. The only apples native to North America are crab apples. The ones we enjoy in this country today originally came from Asia through the Middle East into Europe and then on into the Americas. Like plantain, apples are so well integrated that we think of them as native even though they are also naturalized. As we share our apple juice this morning, may it symbolize the sweetness that can come from being open to new experiences, whether it be new foods, new places, or new people. And let us remember how our lives are enriched when people share their gifts with one another, and what it means to be not invasive, but naturalized. Let us think of that as we drink our apple juice. Let us join in the spirit of prayer. Spirit of life and love, we join our hearts in gratitude on this wondrous day where we have the abundance of our lives before us. This day of bounty, we remember all those who do not have enough, who are afraid, who are lonely, and who suffer. We wish for the abundance of this world to be shared, for fear to become love, for the lonely to feel welcomed, and for the suffering to know rest and joy. For the labors, the love, the care that gave us the delights of this and every day, we offer our gratitude. For the nourishment of our spirit, the challenges that strengthen us, and the friends we have on the journey, we offer our gratitude. For all that is our lives, for these good gifts, we offer our gratitude. May gratitude for our abundance move us to act with compassion for those in need. Blessed be, and amen.
Every month, UUI gives half of the Sunday collection to a cause chosen by our Social Justice Committee. The November Share the Plate offering will go to the UUI Giving Tree. Every year, the UUI Social Justice Committee sponsors a giving tree for the winter holiday season to provide holiday gifts for families experiencing financial stress. There are always some gift tags that don't get claimed. The November Share the Plate offering will be used to purchase these gifts so that everyone has something to open on their holiday morning. Any money left over will be donated to the MLK Center to further meet the needs of families in our immediate community. You can give on your phone by texting the dollar amount you want to give and the word share to a phone number in the chat and in your bulletin. You can also give on our website at uui.org. Here in the sanctuary, ushers will come around to collect donations. The offering will now be most gratefully received. May it be joyfully given. Thank you for your generosity. For all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. And as we depart from this sacred space, let us carry forth the awareness of abundance that surrounds each of our lives. May we continue to be stewards of the abundance we've embraced here today, sharing generously with others and working collectively towards a world filled with justice, compassion, acceptance, and grace. With our hearts full of gratitude, let our actions reflect the love and abundance we share together in this beloved community. Blessed be, and may it be so.
Please rise in body or in spirit as we join together in singing hymn number 128.
And make our own days glad.
Before we extinguish our chalice, I invite you to call in your inner angel cleaning crew and look around you and gather up any crumbs or cups or papers and be ready to dispose of them at the end of service. This is our shared sacred space, and it is our responsibility to take good care of it. Take a moment to pick up now. We will wait. Okay, now please join me in our chalice extinguishing words on the screen and also printed in your order of service. Now we extinguish the flame of our chalice, but not the light of understanding, the warmth of compassion, or the fire of commitment. Let us keep those with us until we meet again. Go in peace.